Russia's full-scale military aggression against Ukraine has radically changed the qualitative and quantitative composition of the armed forces of Ukraine. According to Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov, there are about 700,000 personnel in the armed forces today, and at the end of 2021, there were only 250,000 military personnel. Some of those who fought on the battlefield have been trained abroad on the best Western equipment, which partners have been supplying to Ukraine since March last year.
Firepower has grown in terms of quality indicators because in terms of the quantity, we need more gun barrels, more artillery systems. But at the same time, shooting accuracy has increased and shell consumption has decreased, despite the fact that some systems are allocated for counter-battery combat, and at the same time, the expenses of the Russian artillery are growing. So we can say that we have grown not so much firepower as the quality of its disposal.
At the beginning of the Russian full-scale war against Ukraine, the most modern types of cannon artillery in service of the armed forces of Ukraine were Soviet howitzers manufactured in the 1980s. In April 2022, the Ukrainian Army received American 154mm howitzers. The cannon is 2 times lighter than its Soviet counterparts. The range of shells has expanded and increased. Their accuracy is several times higher than those used by the Russian army.
If in 2014 the cases when our artillerymen could hit a moving target, a moving tank, for example, which was moving on the battlefield, could be counted on the fingers, now it happens almost every day. This is how accurate these howitzers are. There is M982 Excalibur ammunition, that is, the pinnacle of technological excellence. In fact, it's a rocket that is fired from the barrel of an ordinary howitzer. It flies at a distance of 40 kilometers or even more, in some cases up to 60 kilometers, and then it hits the target with an accuracy of 1 meter.
The Ukrainian army, without exaggeration, has surprised the world not only with courage but also with military steadfastness. The armed forces of Ukraine make the most of the capabilities of Western technology.
If you remember such a story that turned the world of military art upside down about how the armed forces of Ukraine used the M142 HIMARS. Actually, in the American Army, the M142 HIMARS is a sort of a scene of surgically destroy a small pillbox of the enemy in the conditions of urban development or combined arms combat. But here it turns out that the armed forces of Ukraine have found a format for how to use them. And HIMARS, as an operational tactical complex, with a firing range of several tens of kilometers on enemy positions, has turned into an interesting tool to power several tens of kilograms of explosives on Russian troops where they are most vulnerable.
Western models of wheeled and tracked vehicles, anti-tank missile systems, grenade launchers, air and missile defense systems, self-propelled artillery, drones. The help of partners has turned the armed forces of Ukraine into a modern NATO standard army with colossal combat experience. Therefore, the renewed Ukrainian army will become the basis for protecting the eastern borders of entire Europe after the victory over Russia, experts are sure.
Everything that the Russians see around them needs to be occupied. This is all primordially Russian land. Be it Japan, be it China, everything must be occupied by them. Therefore, it is obvious that after we reach the state borders, we will hold the defense. And after the end of the war, the Ukrainian army will be the army with the greatest combat experience in Europe. There is not a single country that would lead such a big war and has such combat experience.
The Ukrainian armed forces will have about 500,000 personnel after the end of the war, experts say. Also, funding for the army and the military-industrial complex will increase significantly. After such transformations, Ukraine's accession to NATO will become only a matter of time and political will. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Larisa Zubenko, UATV News.